What's happening, everybody? It's time for the daily truth, the truth in 5 to 7 minutes. Stories are truly what connect us all the way from the beginning of time until now. That's what brings us together. Even God and Jesus would say the same thing. And I'll tell you why in just a minute. Like this video, share this video, do all said things with this video. Go ahead and put in the comments where you're watching from once you hop in. Hope everybody is having a great day if you can. And today's message is tied around stories. What is storytelling? It's speaking. What is speaking that has to relate to me? Wednesday night free speaking class. Go to doubledownspeaking.com. Again, that's doubledownspeaking.com. If you want to learn about the peptides, if you want to learn about all the different things that I do, or if you want to work with me in any way, shape, or form. I don't care what you want to do, but if you want to connect with me, Instagram's a place to do it. Go to @AnthonyMichaelRusso. Again, that's @AnthonyMichaelRusso on Instagram. You've got all my links there in the bio, all the way from the Make Wellness Peptides, obligatory flex, right arm maybe a little bigger than the left. I don't know. You've got Century H2O water, your underwater, under sink water filtration system. All the above. That's what we got. We're going to get into it quick today. It's only a minute 30 in. Oh, and I've got, since today's kind of a message about God, in a sense, storytelling mixed with God, because I was watching The Chosen. I'm getting really into that. Anyways, God's Got You. That's the shirt that I'm rocking today. That link is also in my bio on Instagram. It's at the awakenotwokestore.com. You can also find it directly with that link. My positivity shirts are in there. Pets are a lifetime commitment. Nothing is impossible. Be the change. All of that. That link is directly in there. Use truth for 20% off on Century H2O. Use Russo10 for 10% off. All right. Some people are jumping in. I see the numbers starting to go up. I'm going to take a drink, then I'm going to get right into it. I'm going to kick the tires, light the fires, turn and burn. And I'm in the new place. I talk about Century H2O. We have not put the new filtration in this house yet. So I'm drinking crappy bottled water. I hate drinking bottled water. Way too many plastics. All right, let's get right into it. Let me see some comments in there. All right, so today's daily truth is the idea that spiritually stories connect us. There was a scene in one of the first episodes of season 2 of The Chosen. Yes, I've never watched this show. I also am not great at understanding the Bible or reading it or knowing the different things, and I find it fascinating how much I've learned in just one season of the show that I was like, oh, these are like common stories. I'm far removed from Bible study. But there was an interesting story about Melech. It was Jesus had come to the Samaritans or samurai, whatever, to tell you how good I am at being a biblical scholar. So he with the Samaritans and Sumerians. God, I am so bad at this stuff. Anyways, so he goes there and he specifically is there for for a very specific purpose. And one of them is to have this conversation with Melech. And Melech is like, I don't want to tell you my story because I was a bad man. And I thought he thought he had murdered somebody. And turns out the person was still alive. But there was a moment when Jesus looked at him and said, stories are what connect us. And he wanted him to tell his story. And this isn't a story of good. This isn't like a positive story like this Melech guy when he helped the whole village and now he's worthy of Jesus's love. He's worthy of God's love. That wasn't it at all. Instead, his story was quite the opposite. His story was a story of failure. His story was a story of desperation. His story was a story of sin, much like many of our stories and a lot of what happens in my 8-week class, my longer class with people, as we go into the stories that have broken us as people. And in that story that we share, we allow other people to all of a sudden feel connected to us because we all have sin. We all have failure. Some of it's sin, some of it's failure, some of it's mistakes. All across the board, we are human beings. We are in this flesh that forces us into humanity, which is mistakes. That's part of it. Is human nature to make errors in our life. And in this moment where this completely broken man who is unworthy, he believes, of God's love, unworthy of being there spiritually, unworthy of this Messiah being in his presence, Jesus looks at him and says, stories are what connect us. And that was such a bigger moment for me. It was a revelation for me to remind the fact that when we get better at speaking, when we start to understand more of the power in our, not just the power in our voice, but the power in our story from a godly perspective, not just from just like, well, I shared my story and all of a sudden it helps Steve because he related to it. No, there's something much deeper, much more spiritual to sharing your story, because when you share your mistakes, when you share what makes us human, it allows other people to resonate with you. And then if you are somebody that believes in evangelizing for God and evangelizing for Jesus and Christianity and bringing people into the fold and leading with kindness, leading with love, leading with this deep belief system that you can create change in people around you with the help of God. If you believe in all of that, sharing your story is the first step to build that relationship, to connect each other, to connect ourselves to something greater than ourselves, which in my opinion is God. So that's what I took from it. If you haven't watched The Chosen, I mean, again, I know there's some people that are Christians that are like, no, it's too woke or something. I don't see that at all. Personally, I do see that it is definitely not the fire and brimstone level of Christianity. Is a much more loving and passionate take on it, which has always been my take, which is maybe why I resonate so well with the show. But anyways, that moment where Jesus looked at Melech was perfect in terms of the way that I can describe why it's so important to share our stories. It's not just to just help people, it's to help people realize that God has got them. God has got us. He allows us to reach the lowest of lows and then to be brought back to the highest of highs when we believe in him. So that's what I got for you guys. I hope this message, speaking of errors, I am here. What's up, Casey? All right, guys, I hope you like this video. I'd love to know if you are watching, if you've watched The Chosen or have watched it before, whatever. Let me know. It's on Amazon Prime right now as I'm doing my catch up slowly but surely throughout the show. So I hope you guys have a great rest of your day. Remember, that if you want to get better at storytelling and be part of the fold, go to doubledownspeaking.com, my Instagram at Anthony Michael Russo, all the other links. I do have three-ish people so far in my next class, the next paid class for Double Down Speaking. This would be group number 4. Pricing does continue to go up. We are kind of out of the beta phase at this point, but season 5 is about to be released. Ooh, Jacqueline Rainey. Interesting. I will have to watch that. Anyways, hope you guys have a great rest of your day. Keep believing, keep on trucking. But yeah, if you guys are interested in if you want to be a part of the bigger class, Thursday night this week, on Thursday, we'll be playing the last group is doing their live presentation to everybody where they're presenting their final 5 minutes. We've got a couple keynotes that are a little longer because they won in the private group. They were the ones that did the best in their final presentation. So this is where we do it to the world. You will see that link. It's on all the different channels. Truth will set you free across the board. It'll be on all of them. So make sure you're watching. God bless, guys. Have a great rest of your day, and don't surrender your pets. Don't be a garbage human being. Plain and simple. It is forgivable in the eyes of God, but this one, as a human, not forgivable to me. When you dump your pets, I can't do it. I'm not Jesus. Don't do it. Don't be a